Peace and love, everyone. Back with another Matcha Meetup. Just waiting on my co host, Liz. Mm. There she is. How
Hello.
are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Let's see. Phenomenal.
To be here.
Phenomenal. Quite frankly.
Ooh,
Hmm.
have to shift a little bit. But no, excuse me if y'all see me eating because I have this glorious sushi.
We
And
are
it's like,
not mad at it.
so you know.
We are not mad at it. That sounds really good right now. A little jelly, but we'll live. We'll live. Yes,
Here for
yes. Oh, a nice iced matcha. It's warm, but it's not like super hot. And I use coconut milk this time. I'm here for the different plant milks. So,
mm-hmm.
coconut milk, it actually makes it really sweet and light. And I like that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so for the win. Matcha for the win.
Matcha.
Yeah.
Well, now, welcome.
Yes.
Welcome.
Yes.
What
So
are we?
today, our topic will be first love. So we're going to be talking about our first love, how that has affected us, how that has shifted our perspective on future love, and all those things. Like, it's definitely something that should be talked about more, and so I'm glad that we're bringing this topic to the forefront. So, yeah. Let's jump right into it.
The connection was loading for you a little bit.
Ooh. Yeah, let me move.
I think we're back.
Okay.
Gotta make sure it's good. But I guess I'll start with the disclaimer.
Yes, please.
So yeah, to start with the disclaimer, y'all probably already know it by heart at this point. I mean, you should.
Mm-hmm.
But let's get into it. Okay, so this is a conversation in a safe space that represents our mindsets, opinions, beliefs, and perspectives of the world as we view it right now, with new information that is subject to change. So, with that being said, let's get into it.
Yes, let's get into it.
Oh, and
So,
wait,
go ahead.
introduce at least introduce yourself real quick. I mean,
Okay.
you know it at this point, but just
Yes. Peace, everyone. My name's Gabrielle, or Gabby. On the medias, I'm Glow Getter Gab, and I love to do affirmations, meditation, yoga, and all that good stuff. So that's really what my page is about. And you all could check out my affirmation podcast, Glow Getter Affirmations. Yeah.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's obviously Lizzie here, your favorite online esthetician, and if you know me, your favorite real life esthetician. We just got done doing some facials today. So yes, if you're in the Huntsville area, I'll still be here towards the evening. So let me know. And yeah, like pretty much everything aesthetics, everything dealing with aesthetics. I have a YouTube channel. It's obviously Lizzie over there. Yeah, pretty much it's obviously Lizzie on all platforms because it's obviously Lizzie. So
Like, yes.
But nah, so now we already gave y'all the disclaimer, so let's get into it. Gabby, you're hosting. I'm gonna give it to you.
Okay. So, my first love, like, let me like run you through like everything. So, just existing here on this.
It,
Go
it
ahead.
cut out a little bit.
It did.
Yeah,
Now is it a little better?
a little bit better.
Okay, better.
Yeah.
Okay, good, good. So I met my first love like 0, 3, 5. I was really young, so I'm not necessarily sure exactly when, like what age. However, we started liking each other and all that through I was 11, 12, before high school.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just a beautiful experience. And it, young love, very young love, and like understanding loving myself and then imparting love to somebody else who wasn't my family. I think I've and that's something that I wanted to talk about today was just like the difference between different types of love. So you have your family love, your brother love, sister love, your parents love. However, when you love someone in a way that's like romantic or yeah, romantic and all that, like that's completely different.
Mm-hmm.
However, it could stem from the same point. So like that friendship type of love. And I feel like my first love was a really friendship type of love since I was so young. And romance, it was just like okay, we were getting there, but not to that full blown grown romance clearly. And so it definitely was a roller coaster, and it's crazy to talk about it because it's like we recently reconnected, and so that's really nice being an adult now. And so that has actually like shifted the way that I view the way that I view going and experiencing people from my childhood.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like at first, like I would always want to run away from that. It's like, oh, all these people who know me, but then it's just like let me be open to it, and it'll help me heal what I want to see from my childhood.
Mm-hmm.
So heal that childhood trauma, that childhood like love, all these different things. And so reconnecting with all my childhood friends recently has just been very healing for me. And so that's really where my first love stemmed from. How about you?
Um, First off, yeah, your connection, it cut out one more time, but I think we're good. I think it's just going in and out.
Yeah.
But I think we're good. I mean, I heard most of everything that you just said.
Okay.
So I don't need like a, another. I'm just saying it for the people. I see it, we all see it. I
Yeah.
I think we're back at it. But the thing is, the whole time you're talking, I'm trying to figure out who you're talking about. It's like the fact that it's like, we're sisters, and I'm thinking like, dang, the first love that I thought she was gonna say is not the person that she talked with. I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna leave it at that.
We can leave it at that.
But you don't gotta, out anybody, whatever. But for me, my first love, I met him when I was 15. Yeah, 15. Um, and instantly, like, he would love to say that, oh, like when he tried to come up and talk to me, that I was ignoring him, but I wasn't. Like, I don't think that he really can't, like, because I don't remember our initial conversation, the one
Mm-hmm.
that say that how we met, or
Mm-hmm.
how he approached me or try to spit game or whatever.
Yeah.
And so yeah, we met at 15, or I was 15. And um to be honest, I think that my connection with him lasted a lot longer than it needed to be. Um to be honest, yeah, we can dive into that a little bit later, but I'm just giving y'all a preface. Yeah, I to think that 15-year-old Lizzie would, think that she would ever love someone or love someone differently. I if you told me that, I would be like, no, like there's no way, because I really felt like this was it on that kind of thing, right? And I feel like a lot of people would talk about, high school sweethearts and stuff like that. To preface, I was 15, so I was a sophomore in high school
Yeah.
when I met him. So, I I've always been into romance, and I've always been into, movies and stuff like that, like the very dramatic,
Yeah.
huge scenes of,
Yeah.
declarations of love. I've been
Mhm.
really into that. And so I can see how a part of that shapes, the way that I view love a lot of the time. So, yeah, to answer your question, that I think, yeah, we'll start there. The connection lasted a little too long. We
Yes.
it, but yeah.
Yes. Do you do you feel like different interactions or connections with people breed different types of love? Because like when I was thinking about like what to talk about with first loves, it's like I feel like I've had multiple because there's different dimensions of what love is.
Hmm.
And so it's just like when I'm talking about my first love, this is like the first person that I've ever liked in this entire world. And however, it's just like,
Hmm.
was it as deep as love that I'm experiencing right now in my life? No, but it was just at that point, like that's what love was to me. And so then as moving on, it's like, okay, like love is more things. Love can be friendship, love can be romance, it can be trusting, it can be like connection and like deep understanding of someone else's soul, like on that type of level. And so it's just like there's so to me it's just like there's never necessarily first, last, middle, and all that. It's just like soul connections between human beings, and everything is so different. Like every single relationship is so different, even like relationship, even friendships too.
Hmm.
And so it's just like it's beautiful to understand and see now looking back at it, and obviously like wishing I had the foresight to even understand like the scope of what love really is.
Hmm.
And quite frankly, I'm still understanding that. I think it's so deep in that feeling, that emotion, that principle, that like everything that love embodies and encompasses. I think it's a lifetime of learning that. But like I always thought that it would be someone outside of myself. And now I'm understanding that like my truest first love, it has to be me.
Hmm.
Like on that type of on that type of level, like ultimately.
I definitely understand what you're saying, and
Mm-hmm.
I get what you're saying. Excuse me. I get what you're saying. Um, I think more so when I think of first love, I think of,
Mm-hmm.
the first type, the first experience that I've had with somebody else
Mm-hmm.
where it's beyond friendship, and I know that
Yeah.
beyond friendship,
Yeah.
beyond the fact that, beyond the fact that, oh yeah, I like spending time with you.
Yeah.
Another aspect of it too, because obviously, I mean, I'm gonna speak for myself. Obviously, being sexually attracted to them too. There's
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
we're experiencing love. So that's where I see, my first love. But I completely understand that your first love should be yourself, because how can you love somebody else if you don't love yourself?
Yeah.
And it's an ongoing, it's going to be an ongoing journey, an ongoing process. But at the same time, looking back, would you, if you asked 15-year-old Lizzie that question, she probably would be like, what are you talking about? Like,
Yeah.
like, what do you think? Like, I think he's cute. I like the way he dresses. I mean, that's honestly, that was really the only criteria for honestly for yeah, like a boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even talking about first love being first love was not my first boyfriend. So yeah, not I like, first boyfriend, that's like middle school stuff where it's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, he's my boyfriend or she's my girlfriend, like that kind of thing. That's what I see it as. But
Mm-hmm.
I think first love, where it's like, you know, um, yeah, I was a little bit older and a little bit more
Yeah.
like let's talk about the future, or let's talk about,
Yeah.
where to go in life, like that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so thank you for that distinction. So, okay, then with that definition, that means my first love was truly college.
Okay. So yeah,
With
that's
like, yeah, it was truly college. Yeah, my college boyfriend, he definitely, yeah, like loved him to the moon and back and wanted to marry him so much and all this stuff. And it's just like shifting who I was and him shifting who he was, that kind of shifted us apart. But it was all still love there.
mm,
But it was just like the concept of like what life is and like what different things that I would want out of it, we were just not seeing eye to eye with that. And so with that, like that was probably the hardest breakup. So with that, yeah, that was some deep, like deep love. Like the love that we were talking about with that the three the
oh,
intimacy, the
triangle.
triangle, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that type of love,
Hmm.
definitely college. It was really friendship type of love, which I consider my first love would be like when I was like 11, 12.
Mm,
That childhood love. Because
mm.
it's just so pure. Like that childhood love, it's just like, yo, like I really resonate with you. I really like you. I want to be around you. Let's play games. You know, like to me, like that
That,
is like love. And I like that. Yes, exactly, right?
mm,
And so it's just like, to me, looking at that, it's like, I genuinely felt love, even if I didn't even know how to like put that into words. But understanding that more and going through life, then college would be that real like that encompassing love where it's just
yeah.
like, whoa, like this definitely could be my husband, but am I ready to be a wife? And all those like all that type of thing. And so that was just causing a lot of friction. And so we had to move from that space together. But it's still love now, but we don't speak, and I would still be open to speaking to him. But yeah, I think it's definitely a learning experience. I look at the relationships that I've had with friends, with romance and all that stuff as like a deeper relationship with myself, because I think all these people have taught me something.
Mm.
And so with that, what do you think was a primary lesson that your first love taught you?
Um, I wish I could say that I feel like I learned this lesson. I mean, it
Okay.
taught me a lot of lessons, but it took me a few moments to learn.
Yeah.
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 I would say one of the biggest things is like just if somebody, if somebody doesn't essentially choose you, like it's not like it's okay. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like it's truthfully it's okay. Like it's like sometimes, we project how much we like somebody or how we planned out our future with them or whatever we saw. And if that's not aligning or they're not thinking the same thing, then it's like okay, cool. Like, what you really want somebody to be around you that almost seemed like you took like you're keeping them there. You know what I
Yeah. Like almost forced. Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's the other thing. And I think the other aspect, the other lesson that I could definitely say is the amount of time that you've been with somebody does not equal the quality of the relationship. I'm sorry.
You could say that again.
I I feel like I can say it again and again. The quality, what did I say? The amount of time that you've been with somebody does not equal the quality of a relationship.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
was thinking, I met him at 15. To be honest, I stopped talking to him completely probably 18 or
Yeah.
not or 19. I was 19 or 18. I have to really do the math. But that was way too long because there was too many things that happened in
Yeah.
between that showed me where it's like you don't need this person around. Like you just don't. Like
Hmm.
and I think well what and I'm not sitting here and saying that he was the problem. Please do not misconstrue that. I
Yeah.
was immature with a lot of ways that I dealt with the situation. And definitely with literally I yeah with different arguments with different, issues. I personally don't like the way that I dealt with certain things
Mm-hmm.
with that. But this matcha is really like
It's okay.
but also with that being said,
Mm-hmm.
um I think that dang, I lost my thought. I think the matcha threw me off.
So that the quantity versus the quality of the relationship,
Yeah, yeah.
and
Oh,
then like with the interactions that you all had, and then
yeah.
how you.
Really, it like I said in the beginning, the connection did not need to last that long.
Yeah.
And honestly, yeah, I think I was holding on to this idea where it's like, oh, I want to be with my first love. Like low key, as long like honestly, just for the flex. That sounds so weird and so like, but honestly, just the
No.
fact that like I've met this person at 15 and we're still together at this point. Or we've
Yeah.
like because you honestly at that point I could definitely say I grew up in that space and I even like grew up in the space from when I stopped talking to him. And
Mm-hmm.
obviously I've grown since then. But at that point, different aspects in being in high school and dating him, I think that yeah, there was a couple of different points where I'm like, yeah, like these are pivotal, moments in my life.
Mm.
Um, but and I think another thing that I I did where I would, we stopped talking, we would stop talking, we were broken up or whatever, kind of went in the space of, oh, we're broken up, but still dealing, but we're broken up, whatever, and
Yeah.
literally
Yeah.
whatever you want to call it, talk, whatever,
Yeah.
wasting time, whatever you want to call it.
Whatever.
But yeah, and I would kind of get in this phase of like rushing the fact that wow, like I really felt like I found my person because every single time we would stop talking and then start talking again, the
Mm-hmm.
conversation would be so effortless. Like
Mm.
be so effortless and so funny and so like wow, like we're really on that same, which
Yeah.
we were in a certain aspect in a certain area,
Yeah.
but not with everything. And also it's kind of like at that point, yeah, I would forgive the different things that he did or the different issues. But honestly, I would honestly I forget because it wouldn't matter to me anymore on my everyday life. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to be tripping about this dude who did X, Y, and Z to me.
Mm-hmm.
But or where yeah. And I think honestly I just don't think he was in the space of trying to be in a serious relationship, which to be
Yeah.
honest, I didn't understand what a serious relationship was. But
Thanks.
yeah, but in the space of he didn't want to be serious about one person. And at the time, that's what I wanted. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I really like what you said about that that quantity of time versus in the quality of relationship or quality of connection.
Mm-hmm.
And so often we'll misconstrue that.
Mm,
Like, whoa, like we've been together 2 years or I've known him my whole entire life. And it's just like, but like, have you grown during that time? Is this person a conduit for your growth, your evolution, and in a positive way? And or are you all too codependent and like basically like
yeah.
destroying each other's future just by being together in the present?
Mm-hmm.
And that is something that, especially with younger relationships, that's something that often a lot of us have to come to terms with. And it's like, yo, like, do I really want this? And are we really good for each other at this moment in time?
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes it's timing, and sometimes it's like, yeah, sometimes it's timing, sometimes it's actual communication, sometimes it's okay, someone else is getting in their own way and they're projecting this onto you. And often I'm understanding that it's like what people do in a relationship or in a conversation, it really reflects on them. So it's like if they feel like they need to look around and do different things, like that's insecurity within themselves. But it's just like when you're younger and this is the first time you're having all these emotions and all these feelings, like you're taking everything personally, you know, like yo, this person must not like me, or they must not think
I
I'm
did.
pretty, or compared to this girl and this and that. And it's like whoa, he may be struggling with different things too and doesn't know how to communicate that. And I think like that just goes into a deeper situation where it's just like understanding yourself before you can even intentionally understand someone else.
Mm-hmm.
And that had I don't think that ever came up in conversation or growing up. I don't think we've ever like spoke about that. I've never heard an adult talk about
Mm-hmm.
that self-love before you love and give a part of yourself to someone else.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so important. It's so important to think of that. um
I
oh,
want.
go ahead.
I
If it Yeah, go ahead.
know. I just wanted to bring up a
Mm-hmm.
story, essentially, or something that I thought of where
Mm-hmm.
I felt like because of this, pretty much everything that I heard about men and
Mm-hmm.
guys and boys and all of it, like how boys only want one thing, or guys just want this, or they'll do anything to
Yeah.
do that. Whatever the case was, I feel like that was playing in the back of my head throughout our relationship,
Mm-hmm.
which made me think like different things that he did where it's like, oh, well, but guys are like that. Or maybe it's not that big of a deal. Like literally giving passes
Wow.
to him just because of what I heard how guys are. And I hadn't had that sort of experience to be around, a certain amount of guys or talk to different guys or whatever, just get to know different men and different types of men.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that that was the aspect of it kind of made me excuse some of the behaviors that he did,
Mm-hmm.
because it's like, oh, well, this is how guys are. And to the point where it's like, yeah, it was pretty messed up as far as what certain things that like I feel like I tolerated
Yeah.
uh, because of that. And thinking back on it, it's like, yeah, I could think back on it and see it. But at the time, I didn't really understand. I was kind of just like, well, you just hear like this is how guys are, or guys will do that, or guys will do this, and yeah. So
Yeah. So with that point, just how you were fed those different beliefs, whether they're true or not, just like blanket statements generalizing all men or all boys, he probably got that too.
mm,
This must be something that I must want. I have to look for sex. That's something that girls want from me. This and that. And so like from that perspective, it's like he's been put in a box too. And when I say he, I mean like boys in general, black boys especially. And so it's just like being put in a box of that. So then there's an expectation of that. And then girls that you're dealing with expect you to be that. So then
yeah.
it's just like, okay, then let me just do that because this is what boys do. And
Mm,
so we just really have to switch the entire narrative on both sides, And it seems like it's stemming from family, which I think is really interesting. Like those same different patterns and those different conversations that multiple people are saying that they've heard when they were little. So that just impedes on your interactions instead of it being just purely, whoa, like I act like this just because this is me and you're authentically you and that's you, instead of looking at you as some general, oh, all girls are like this,
mm-hmm.
or you looking at him, oh, all boys are like this. And it's just like, but you all are individuals. Like why don't we embrace that? And so I just wanted to point that out because it just seems like it's a pervasive issue and especially in our community. And it's like we have to change the way that we're speaking and creating those expectations,
Mm-hmm.
especially as children and high schoolers and all that stuff. And it's just like that helps that helps perpetuate something that's negative,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
even though the people who probably are saying all that, they are well meaning.
Mm.
They're trying to protect you. But it's just like let's take a step back, because what are you trying to protect from? Are these limiting beliefs that you held on to and now you're just putting on another child that they're going to grow up with? And it's just like, this just continues cycles, and
Yeah.
like it doesn't do anyone any good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just interesting to hear that from you, because
I'm
you're not the first person to feel like that.
that where honestly, I'm gonna just be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking to this, like he lied about the things that we were doing
Mm-hmm.
or what we did. Like
Mm-hmm.
he lied about that in the
Mm-hmm.
sense of, to look whatever in front of his peers or whatever, and
Yeah.
it got back to me. And I just think it's kind of crazy to think like, wow, that's so ingrained where you really feel like you have to show up or, boost up because that it deals directly with your manhood and how you are viewed among other men,
Yeah. Yeah.
you
So
know?
like that pressure to have to be out of your character, lie, and bring someone else into that, when it's just like, instead of being authentically you, and it's just like giving your like giving yourself away, or sharing a, a physical space with somebody, does not have to be rushed into,
Mm,
and it doesn't have to be used as bragging rights or glorified in that type of way, but more so it should be sanctified.
mm,
And that is just that, as children and as high schoolers, especially with that peer pressure and all that, you're hearing so many things from either your parents, from your peers. It's like, I genuinely see why he felt the need to lie. Like, I do, not saying that that's right, but I
yeah,
understand why.
yeah.
Because it's just like, you don't want to be an outsider.
Mm.
A lot of people don't want to be an outsider. A lot of people don't want to be
So
the
young,
first person doing something. Exactly,
so
exactly.
young, where it's like literally this is
Mm-hmm.
high school is really all about fitting in and who's popular. That's really anybody cares about. That's really all that anyone cares about at that time.
Yeah,
To be honest, like you're making a bunch of new friends, and like you just want to be cool in front of those new friends, and
exactly.
that's basically it. But yeah, I just think that was kind of it's just really interesting to really dive and understand. And looking back at it now, different things that I look back on, I
Mm-hmm.
see where things kind of shifted or different things that shifted.
For sure, for sure.
So let me ask you this: why did
Okay.
you and your first love essentially not work out or continue? Why did it end?
Okay. I think that kind of ties in to the question that I asked you about the lesson.
Mm,
And I had a lot of expectations for him that I wanted to surpass myself.
mm,
However, it was just like, okay, you need to be at this space so that I can now be at the space that I want to be at. Instead
mm,
of like, I'm growing within myself and I don't expect anything from you. So if you're at this space, then that's cool. But if not, then that's cool too. So not having that maturity to even have that conversation candidly, and having way too many expectations for somebody outside of myself.
mm,
And for a young man, like that's a lot. And that's like, you know? And so with that, looking back at what I was expecting him to do or expecting him to be, all most of the things that I was expecting, I don't even do now. Like I don't even resonate with it.
wow.
So it's just like, clearly I didn't even know myself to know what I wanted from a man. So I was expecting him and wanting him to be something that I didn't know if I really wanted. And I that is definitely something. It's
Wow.
a tough pill to swallow, and
Wow.
it's something that I had to come to grips with and understand. And that's exactly what I would tell him if we were to speak right now. I would apologize for that, because like that's not fair. It's not. And it's like, I didn't know myself. So like, how can I, how can I expect all these things from you? Like it just doesn't, it doesn't work. And I guess the reason why I felt the need to even do that was because so many people expected things from me.
Mm.
So that was just projection.
Mm.
So like, and this is me, the healed Gabby, the understanding, like my mental, like that's coming from. However, in college I didn't have the words to even say that. And this was like a 2 year relationship, because first year I met him freshman year, and then sophomore year I went to Argentina, so I studied abroad, and we were still together while I was in Argentina, and and then he was over here in the States, and I broke up with him when I came back, and he came to see me.
Wait, he came to see you in Argentina?
No, he came to see me when I came back from Argentina.
Oh, oh.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
remember.
yes, yes, yes. He came to your graduation,
Oh yeah,
high
that was
school.
the first time y'all saw each other. Yeah, first off, that's a big, like not seeing your significant other for a year and
Yeah.
then back to a family event.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So
Yeah,
it's just like it was a lot, and I appreciate him for all of that, because like he didn't have to do all
yeah,
that, and he didn't have to ride with me all
yeah.
that time. Like, and it was still good. Like we were still conversating and all that while I was in Argentina. I didn't really feel like, oh, like tied down or whatever. But at the same time, it's just like I was still searching for myself. I was trying to find me over in Argentina. Came back and realized I'm right here.
Mm,
And with that, like that realization, it's like whoa, like I see the world differently, and I see myself differently. And so right now we're very far from each other.
mm,
Like we're just far, and that's okay, but we're far. And that's what I was trying to explain to him, and I'm not even sure if I used the correct words to really convey that. But
mm-hmm.
that's how I felt. I just felt like we were just far, and it wasn't that like there was no love there, or there was no romance there, or nothing like that. It was just like the longevity, because I do want something that like lasts, sturdy, deep. Like how I think I said it in the Matcha Meetup previously, like love like the ocean. You
Mm,
can't pour it out. You
mm,
can get all the cups, but you just can't pour it out, because there's still more. There's still layers to uncover. That's really what I want, and that's something that you can have with anybody. And that's something that I have with the love that I have right now, and he's going to be my last love. We always talk about first love, but like, yo, that
wow,
last love, it hits.
wow.
It
Ah,
hits.
so beautiful.
Yeah.
It's just insane to even think like one. I feel like one at the same time, don't put anybody's relationship on a pedestal because you don't
Yeah.
know what's going on or whatever the case is. But also,
Hmm.
I have such admiration for you guys. I
Yeah.
mean, for sure. And to
Yeah.
think where, like, I saw like I was an outsider looking in,
Hmm.
to your first love, to
Hmm.
the loves after, and then your current love right now.
Yeah.
If you were to ask me when you were dating your first love, like, oh, I can see them.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really see them, like, years later.
Yeah.
And it's crazy to think like i I can't even say that now, because the person you're with, I feel like is such a
It's
is but also like it's such a like it's the person for you.
yeah. Yeah.
But also it's understanding that you're not that same person as
Exactly.
well, like where you were at.
Exactly.
So that's probably why, like, y'all aligned at the time where you were at.
Yeah.
But who's to say that that shifts, and or that will change, or that doesn't change. And then understanding one of the aspects of it where it's not really in your control, like when you're changing and that person may not change along with you.
Yeah.
you know? So it's kind of finding that baseline, finding that basis, because
Exactly.
everyone's a wild card. Every I use certain things. Oh, that can never happen to me. Oh, this can never. I don't even say that anymore. I really
No.
like whatever happens. Like I can't. I
Yeah.
understand that I can't control another person to that level, and especially seeing like, oh yeah, I just don't want that to happen, or I don't like. If it
Yes.
happens, then you have to decide what you know. If whatever happens,
Yeah.
you know, in a relationship, in a marriage, you just have to decide how you're gonna deal with it, and
Exactly.
that's it. And I feel like I'm still trying to work just on letting things go and not holding on to certain things, because I feel like I would, especially at the time, like, or I would, I think
Hmm.
before my before my second serious relationship,
Yeah.
um, I would let things go a little too easily. So
Mm.
literally, I feel like right now, the Lizzie that you're seeing right now, and you know the way, the different things that I'm talking about,
Yeah.
that I believe, I feel like it was the total opposite.
Yeah.
Like I really, truthfully, to be honest, I feel like I was, you know, trying to be like the good child, or the good girlfriend, whatever the case.
Mm.
Like
Mm.
thinking that, you know, not being comfortable with adversity. So different things that would bother me, or
Wow.
did something and it would bother me, I wouldn't bring it up. I would literally just sit in my own, you know, oh, that bothers me. But like, it's so immature, but try to do
That
like,
voice within
yes,
yourself.
yes, where it's like, oh, I would hope that he noticed that I didn't text him good morning, or just different things
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to do that anymore. Like I'm really not, like that's so ridiculous. And I had that realization, I feel like, yeah, after my second relationship. I mean, there's a lot of realizations with every relationship, but but yeah, I definitely feel like it's just I realized how much I wasn't. It's like I felt like what's like he was happening to me. Everything that he did, like he happened to me. I had no control over what
Wow.
what he was like. I mean, I know I have no
Wow.
control over it, but
Yeah.
at the same time, I didn't have any control over myself.
Self.
Yes, exactly. Where I would just project and be like, bro, like,
Mm.
why are you doing this or why are you doing that or whatever. When it's like at the same time, you're still there though. Like you're still there. So at some point, you have to look in the mirror and realize, like, okay, but you're still there though. There's two people in this relationship, and you can't continuously say, oh, he's the problem, he's the issue. You don't like the way he's doing this, or you don't like whatever the case is. But it's like at the same time, but you're still there. So yeah, it took me a moment to really, break off that, because I feel like a lot of it I would romanticize our relationship where it didn't need to be romanticized at that point. In our friendship and whatever. And I was letting, certain things that he told me, like,
Yeah.
but that I'm the love of his life, whatever, all this stuff, which I'm not saying like, because truthfully at the moment I believed him.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying he was lying either.
Yeah.
But it's just like, I just know if I don't, if I feel like something in me is
Wow.
saying, okay, well, you probably deserve a little, you probably deserve better. You deserve a little bit more. Okay. Okay. Let's have this chat. And like,
Yes, the pep talk. Yes, yes.
bro,
And
I
the
be talking to myself all the time. I swear.
and honestly, it's mandatory. You have to give yourself pep talks, and you have to be able to evaluate your choices in different spaces that you're in.
Or you'll look for that in other people. You'll look for somebody else to validate you.
Yes.
Like straight up. If you can't literally tell yourself in the
Mm.
mirror, oh, you look good, you're gonna be looking for that.
Yeah.
Or, like you really got this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like yeah.
Wow. Wow.
But
Wow.
yeah, didn't didn't
that
I
really
know it's a lot.
yeah, like that really hit me because it's like so often we'll get lost, like lost in the sauce of that relationship with somebody else and trying to be whatever this person wants you to be or whatever you think that you should be for this person. They might not even demand nothing from you, but you
No,
put
yeah.
yourself in that mode. And just like this whole entire conversation, it just is showing me that the depth that you know yourself, the that relationship with yourself is how deep you can get with someone else.
Mm,
And
wow.
it's definitely
Too many
it's how deep.
generations.
Yeah. Yeah, like it it's so true, and it's like that relationship is really just a mirror of where you're at in life. So it's less about being mad at this person, or this person did this to me, this person did that to me, but it was like where was I at though?
Mm,
And I truly believe that like attracts like. So
mm,
in any sort of situation, we're speaking about relationships, but in anything, you will always attract someone or something that you resonate with and you're on the same vibe with. You
mm,
there's no ifs or ands or buts. And just like how you said, like with my first love, is like, yeah, like you could see that going far, this and that, because that's where we were on the same frequency. But now it's just like I'm on the same frequency with someone else because like my frequency is higher. And so
mm,
it's just like understanding that all this is a reflection of you. Whatever someone else does to you, it's a reflection of you. And it's just like looking at it like, yo, what should I learn from this? Like, let me not be mad right now. Let me find the lesson. And that is easier said than done. But once you understand that and always look for the lesson, no matter what someone does, what and I'm talking about no matter what, like cheating, this, yelling at you, this and that, like what is the lesson? What is the lesson? And it's just like, okay, if this is a lesson that I need to get stronger within myself and move from this space, that's that lesson. But that person had to show you that so that you
wow.
could believe in yourself, you know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like um honestly, it's something about relationships, and even more so, it's something about the end of a relationship that really can propel you in two different ways. It
Yeah.
can propel you up. It can propel you to literally, okay, what did I learn from this? What can I take from this? Or it can propel you down,
Mm.
get in this sulking, and you just get, and I'm not saying don't mourn a relationship, because you're mourning a connection that you had with somebody, especially if you thought it was genuine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, especially like, yeah, so that's natural, that's normal. But at the same time, understanding that you can't stay, just it's just not staying in that space.
Yeah.
Not in that space. And to be honest, I can say this straight up. The reason why I feel like the connection lasted so long, so much longer than it needed to, is because I never gave myself that space. I never gave myself the space to actually be like sad about, okay, this person is not for me, or this person is
Yeah.
out of my, I just like was like, no, I'm gonna block it out. Literally blocked him, blocked it out. But then at the same time, all it would take is one reminder, or one this, one that, to be right back there. And it's
Yeah.
like, I understand that that's like blocking somebody and doing all that stuff, like it's not helpful.
It's a
It's
band-aid.
literally, yeah,
It's a
you have
band-aid.
to straight up
Mm-hmm.
address all of your feelings, because that's the only way that you'll be able to understand them. And at the time, I didn't understand it, and I know that that's why, it lasted so much longer.
Wow. That wow, thank you for sharing that introspection. Like, yes, because and that's when it's like when a relationship has transitioned and moved on and now you're in a new space with yourself, being able to look back and really grab like those lessons and that and like that piece of knowing like, okay, now that like you're not going to repeat that because you're a whole different person. You learned what needed to be learned, and
Mm.
that alone is a very empowering thing. You like you can't stay in that sunken place, that place of despair, like, and not get, and that's giving way too much power to this other person,
Mm.
way too much. And so it's just
Wow.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely giving power to them. And whether they know it or not, like that doesn't matter. But like your mind is still giving power to that. into them, the situation, and all that. And so it's just like understanding that. Wow, wow, that's good. Okay, we have a question in the chat.
You want me to read?
Yeah, you can read it.
Do y'all believe in fighting for a relationship, or y'all think if you have to fight, it's not for you then? Good question.
That's a phenomenal, yo, joyful. I love your questions.
We
Okay.
the question, okay?
Yeah.
But you can answer that first as you take a sip of your matcha.
Yes, yes. Okay. Hmm.
Do you want me to answer it first?
Yeah, yeah. See, Joyful even said yes. He was like, yes.
Joyful
Like,
was like, too long. Lizzie answered first. That's hilarious.
yes, go ahead, because I need to think.
Okay. Do I believe in fighting for a relationship, or if you have to fight, it's not for you then? To be honest, I fighting fighting in the way that is described, and then the vocabulary of fighting almost feels like you're trying to force, where it's almost like you're trying to force something, where you're think about a puzzle piece, or a puzzle. Some of those pieces may look like they fit together, and some of them, on the outside looking in, they may look like they go together, but when you're trying to put them together, they're not going, like they're not, it's just not clicking, right? And then it's like, if you keep doing that, you may never find that other puzzle piece that's supposed to go with that piece. I
That was amazing.
So with that being said, I feel like at a certain point, if you start getting to the point where you feel like things are forced, if you feel like conversation is forced, if you both aren't trying to talk about things, and if you're both not trying to discuss things, if you're both in the space of, like, because it's a balance, it's a balance. You may not be the person who's always bringing up, hey, we need to talk about this, and the other person may not be the person who's talking, hey, we need to talk about this. If Say if you're the only person trying to solve conflict, and trying to work on the relationship, then no. Fight When I think fighting for a relationship, you're fighting because somebody else is not on the same page as you. That's why you're fighting in the first place. So to be honest, I used to think that, you really got to go, or, like I said earlier, the amount of time spent with somebody equals, how the quality of the relationship. But at some point, that's not the case. And honestly, I can honestly say that if you break up, it's either going to do one of two things: show you, that, hey, this is a relationship that may come back. It may come back around. That's not even me saying that don't, that people who break up will never come back together. That's not what I'm saying. But a breakup can literally either help the relationship, or it just dissipates, and that's that.
Wow.
So I think at the point, like, I think a lot of people think that taking space and taking a break or whatever, like, is negative or means that it's the end. But it's like, no, sometimes you need that space. Like, sometimes you need that separate, okay, let's come back to, let's come back to understanding why I'm here in the first place. And maybe you'll find that love that you had with that person, or you just understand that it's just not there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I feel.
Wow, that puzzle piece analogy, Liz. That's phenomenal, and that is so true. With the question, if you have to fight and struggle, like how you said, like you have to force something, you have to put so much energy and effort into something, and and the relationship's not flowing like a river. Yeah, No, no, it's not worth it. Because if you think of it, do another analogy. So with the river, so there's a river, there's rocks on the river. So not saying that nothing, there's not gonna be bumpy rides and the rapids and all that stuff. However, it's still flowing. We're still moving towards a common goal. Still moving towards with that common connection. However, if now there's a dam in the river and things are just stopped up, no one wants to accept the other person, whatever they did or whatever they said or anything like that. There's no apologies, there's no sorries, there's nothing like that. There's no forgiveness. It's like you put a stop sign there, that dam there, and it's just like you can't clear that up. And so allowing things to just flow, like if it doesn't flow, and that's with anything for me, if it doesn't flow, that that means it's just not for me. It's just
I
not.
I want to also point out at the
Mm-hmm.
fact that I'm gonna say this, especially in the we're talking about first loves. We're talking about like my first, relationships.
Mm-hmm.
My first few relationships. If
Yeah.
y'all are fighting, and one, you're not living together, you're not out here. Like these are aspects that honestly I
Yeah.
wasn't thinking about it. I didn't like at the time. Like I'm honestly, still dependent on my parents, all stuff like that. Like, not thinking about bills, not thinking about household responsibilities. If you're fighting at that point, if you're fighting at that point and there's no issue there, like you're not living together at that point,
Yeah.
and you're fighting at that point, I swear, if somebody told me that, it would give me some sort of realization. Well, honestly, I had to come to it, by myself, but
Oh, that's true.
for myself. But yeah, like if you're fighting and you're not in the same space, you're not sharing a space, like y'all are fighting about other things, that means that the bigger picture is not aligned. That's what that means.
Mm.
So that means it's going to come up in other ways, and by the time you get to living together and stuff like that, then at that point there's probably just so much resentment or
Yeah.
whatever the case is. And yeah, so honestly, if that's something that, yeah, if you, it should be cool. It should be roses and
Yeah. Flowing. Yep. Cool. I love that question. That was a beautiful, yes, beautiful question. Great answers. I love the analogy. I love the oh, love it. Yes.
I feel it. I feel you with the river though. I
Yeah.
feel it.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
it should be easy going.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest, I don't
Definitely.
think that I'm gonna honestly say this. I don't think that I've experienced that
Mm.
as of yet. I
Mm-hmm.
don't think I've experienced a love
Mm-hmm.
that's easy.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
when you do, like there, yo, like that's it. That's it. Like, yeah. Once it's easy, yeah. There's no need to struggle in life. There's no need for that.
And honestly, I said, I told my parents this, and they love this quote, or they love what, I don't even know if this is a quote, but essentially, I said that your partner is the only family member that you'll ever choose.
We
So choose.
did.
Let's say that. You want me to say it again? I'll say
Yes.
it again. Your partner is the only family member that you will ever choose. You don't choose the family that you're born in. You don't choose your siblings. You don't choose your parents. But your partner is, that's a choice. And it's the only family member that you'll ever choose. So, yeah. And honestly, for anybody, if you're experiencing a first love now, if you're, over, like, getting past your first love, if you're getting past another love, understanding that one, if it's meant to be, it'll be meant to be. Having trust in that if it needs to come back around, it'll come back around.
Yeah.
If you need to experience it again, you'll experience it again. Maybe for another lesson. Who knows? Because I mean, I'm a testimony to it.
Yeah.
Maybe for another lesson. But also, don't think that you won't experience another love. because you will. You will. You truly will.
Wow. We got cut off, so that's okay. Let me see where Lizzie is. Hey, Shemai. So, maybe it's my account.
I
I'm
really,
not
oh, because
necessarily sure.
right?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. We're we gonna
I don't know.
figure it out for the people, for the collective.
Yeah, I was
Yes.
saying that I was giving the outro on the Matcha Meetup. I was just saying there's more stories to come. There's so much more. I couldn't give y'all all the whole story on the first episode. Okay, the whole there's more
Yeah,
there's more to the story. There's a lot more, but obviously the more
yeah.
you get to know us, the more you'll understand. Our timeline, our different relationships, all
Hmm.
of it. We'll be talking about honestly. I Something that we talked about before when we were talking about locker room talk and with um and just how some guys may feel the need to show up for other guys.
Hmm.
I'm already letting y'all know now that will be a conversation because that there's so much more to go there.
Yeah,
There's so
we'll be talking about relationships, male female interactions,
much of it,
all that, all that, all that.
all of
But
it.
yeah, yeah. Wow, this was a great conversation, a great meetup. I hope you
Yeah.
all learned something from it because I definitely did. Those analogies, they
Mm.
hit. They
Yeah.
definitely hit. So, yeah, yeah, just a broader perspective. I know I'm walking away with one. So,
Hmm. For sure. And before we let y'all go, we're gonna tell you next week's topic. Okay, should I get a little drum roll? Next week's topic is gonna be being black. Okay, being black. Our
yes,
experience
power
being
to the
black,
people. Yes,
all of it. It's specific, like
Black
as
in America.
black in America,
Yeah.
because that's where we're at, and that's our experience currently.
Yeah.
But speaking on that and how it shaped us, how that
Yeah.
shaped our worldview,
It's,
how it
it's
shaped all of it.
yeah, it's gonna
Okay,
be a
that's
good
gonna be
one.
a
It's
good
gonna be a good
conversation.
one. There's
I
there's
hope,
gonna be some history fun facts too. We're coming with this. So
and I'm not mad at it.
yeah.
I'm educated and to educate. That's right there. Coming to be educated and coming to educate. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
That that's it. That's what the Matcha Meetup is about. Wow. That is. I love that. I love that. Ooh, I'm excited for next week.
Me too.
Mm-hmm.
But with that, hope y'all enjoyed the conversation.
Yes. Peace and love,
And
everyone.
yeah, enjoy the rest of your beautiful Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's it.
We'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Bye, y'all.